time, both sides have the opportunity to give closing statements. Would the defense care to give a closing statement?
No.
Yes, Your Honor.
Please do so.
Did you start the time?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Thank you. Bailey.
So the question is, what really happened on the morning of November 20th, 2004 at the Terrible Towel Cafe? Well, Teresa went back to beg my client for her job, now that they were living on the streets. Her daughter was asked to wait outside while her mother's request was shot down. Not wanting to allow Danny to see her so upset, Teresa stepped out back to gather her emotions before returning with the bad news. When she stepped outside, however, Big Dog and his gang walked by and saw the homeless mother of the girl that they swore vengeance upon just a few months earlier, all alone. Seizing the opportunity to get back at Danny, Big Dog and his gang beat up Teresa Jamison with no intention of killing her whatsoever. However, one of the boys, in a fit of adrenaline, picked up a brick that had fallen off a deteriorating building and hit Teresa over the head, which explains the extra prints besides just T-Berry's on the brick. Then the gang took T-Berry and put her into a dumpster out back when Sandy Wilbur went outside and saw them. When T-Berry went out back, she saw just another brick from the building that had fallen off, and she threw it out. Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, as stated earlier, this is not a case of third-degree murder, but rather a case of misplaced blame, and even more so, revenge. It was without question a tragedy when Miss Jamison was murdered that late November morning. However, putting my client behind bars will not bring this woman back, nor will it be proper retribution for the crime committed. The only crime that this community hero committed was being in the wrong place at the wrong time, or rather, for some, the right place at the right time. Now, I say this because my client was only brought to this trial because Officer Motes and Danny Jamison wanted to get back at T-Berry. Danny, the son of the late Therese Jamison, wants retribution, not for the death, but for the firing of his mother, which he believes was because of the horse meat, while in fact it was due to her inability to be a good worker. My client had every right to fire Teresa. In Danny Jamison's witness statement, she states that T-Berry said that she would never have hired Therese if she had known how unreliable she really was. Just a few days after the firing, Teresa and Danny were evicted from their home as no more money was coming in, and they couldn't pay the rent, and that's why Danny wants to get back at T-Berry. Officer Motes' grudge against T-Berry is seen in Exhibit 2. Motes was reprimanded by the boss after a formal complaint letter was written to the Barrister police chief by my client due to his lack of fulfilling his duties in the eyes of multiple people in the area. Officer Motes himself said that on the stand, one of his main jobs is to keep the homeless safe, and obviously, he hasn't done that. T-Berry cared deeply for these people, as seen in Exhibit 6, the community hero recommendation for T-Berry due to her work with the homeless. T-Berry got law enforcement more involved for the homeless' safety and reduced or completely took away other homeless tenants' rent to keep them off the Barrister streets. But why did she want the homeless people off the streets so badly? For the same reason that Therese Jamison is dead, Big Dog. Big Dog Wade and his gang have notoriously bullied and beat up the homeless of Barrister. This alone makes Big Dog a prime candidate for the murder of Teresa Jamison, but there is more. As I stated earlier, Danny admitted in his testimony that he was attacked by Big Dog one day while cutting school. Understandably, while being attacked, Danny pulled out pepper spray and maced Big Dog, causing him to fall to the ground, rubbing his eyes and screaming. Then, Danny began screaming and kicking Big Dog while he was on the ground in pain. This became Big Dog's motive to get back at Danny, and so he did, by killing the mother of the homeless girl whom he had humiliated before. Big Dog admitted to Officer Motes that he and his gang were around the town the morning of the murder, and Sandy Wilbur told Officer Motes that she had seen 4 or 5 teenagers whom she had read about as possible gang members looking inside the dumpster and running away as they made eye contact. Since then, Officer Motes admitted, Big Dog has not been seen or heard from. For you to find my client guilty, she must be guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. This means that you must be 100% positive that she is guilty.
30 seconds.
For example, a reasonable doubt would be that if there was a test you studied really hard for, and you got done and went to hand it in, you put your Scantron down over the test before yours, who was the smartest kid in class, and you saw that they had a different answer on one of the questions. You know that you studied and you think that you did it right, but that little bit of doubt that you may have had the wrong answer, that's reasonable doubt. If there is any of that in your mind that T. Barry Olsen committed the murder, you must vote not guilty. Thank you.